Hey, what's going on YouTube? So today we're actually doing another match. Our match is actually going to be with the white deck that we've been using before actually going to go against Swamp or Black deck. So we're going to go ahead and jump into the game. I will be explaining the game again, but it's not going to be as detailed as the last video and the video before that. So what I would suggest is if you don't know what's going on, definitely check out the video prior to this one or the video even further back to explain the cards and things like that and how the turns work and things like that. Let's go ahead and jump right in. So we are going against Liliana Vess, who is a planeswalker. All right, so as I did last game, I'm going to put stops on all the phases, all my opponent's phases. We're going to put stops. We're going to put stops on. Just going to stop everything. All right, so let me organize my hand a little bit here. All right, so like I said, we're going to start with 7 cards in our hand, 20 life here, 20 life there. And first thing we can do is play a land. So we're going to go ahead and play a Plains land. Now, once I play that card, it's probably going to skip to the end of my turn because all the cards in my hand, all the creatures and things like that, cost more than 1 to play. So we're not going to be able to do anything. But we can take a look at the cards. So this is a 2 plains cost, a creature, and it's a 2 power, 2 defense. No text. Next card is a Youthful Knight. This is 1 colorless, 1 plains, so that's what it costs to be able to play. You can play any mana for the 1 and then a specific plains land to be able to use that one up. And then it has the ability called First Strike. So this ability, basically what it does is this creature, and this is again, it's on the blurb on the right side of the card. If you're playing, Arena, it explains it. So this creature deals combat damage before creatures without First Strike. Does not apply when creatures fight. Okay, so basically what that means is, so when a creature is attacking, or if you attack with this creature, right? And it has 2, right? When it goes to combat phase and deals the damage, this card or this creature deals 2 damage to your opponent's creature before their creature gets to attack our creature. So it's kind of like it gets like a first advantage, or kind of like a sucker punch. It basically hits the opponent's creature before your opponent gets to hit our creature. When we do normal attacks with other creatures, they basically attack at the same time and they kill each other. This has kind of like a sucker punch quality where it does the damage before the opponent does their damage. Basically what that means in layman's terms. And then Knight's Pledge, we saw this before, is the 1 colorless, 1 plains enchantment card. You can attach it to a creature and give it +2 attack and +2 defense. So we're going to go ahead, play our land. We can't play anything else. We're going to click next and click. Ooh, I can put stops here. Click next again. All right, we skipped the combat phase because we don't have any creatures to be able to attack. Now we're in our second main phase. We have nothing to be able to play. We're going to end our turn. This is the end phase. We have nothing else we can play past turn. Now it's our opponent's turn. They are going to draw their card. There it is. And then their main phase, they get to put a land down, and then they have a creature that costs 1 swamp to play, which they used it. That means that it's been used. That resource has been used, and you can no longer use it until it untaps. And this is a 1-drop, 1/1 vampire creature. Now these abilities it's Death Touch and Life, and we've seen Lifelink. We know what that does. Basically, what that does is, anytime this creature does damage, the controller gains that much damage back. So say example, if it attacks me for 1 damage, I go down to 19, and the opponent is going to gain 1 life, and it's kind of like a life sucking ability kind of. So we're going to let that resolve because we can't react to it. Now we're going to look at this card and we're going to look at Death Touch because that's a new ability we haven't seen yet. So Death Touch, any amount of damage a source with Death Touch deals to a creature is enough to destroy it. So, for example, a creature that has Death Touch, it's kind of like, you can look at it as like a poison kind of thing. So, say that I had a cat on the field. All right, so for example, my Shrine Keeper, right? It has 2 power and 2 defense. Say I have this out on the field and they attack with this creature that they just put down with with Death Touch. That's a 1 attack, 1 defense. So say that they attack and I block it. Normally what would happen is if it didn't have Death Touch, my creature would live because their creature's dealing 1 damage and I have 2 defense. So my creature would live. And then their creature would die because it has 1 defense and this creature has 2 attack. But with Death Touch, as long as that creature deals any type of damage at all, the creature that's blocking is dying. So even though that creature's dealing 1 damage and my Shrine Keeper of a creature has 2 power, or I'm sorry, 2 defense, since it took damage, it's getting poisoned and dying. It's basically what that means. So that's the card they just played. Now it has Summoning Sickness. It can't do anything. It just came out to the field. It doesn't know what's going on. It doesn't know its environment. It can't attack right away. So we're going to skip the combat phase because it can't attack. It's going to go into the second main phase. Can't do anything else because they don't have anything else to be able to do. And now it's going to be my turn. So now it's the beginning of my turn. I can draw a card. All right, we drew a land. We're going to go into our main phase and we can play a land. So now we can play a card. We have a couple options here. We are actually going to go with our Youthful Knight. And I'm going to explain why we went this option. And then that ended my turn. I couldn't do anything else. Oh God, it's like skipping all the stuff. Why did it like skip? I wanted it to stop. Anyway. Okay, so he basically, to sum it up, it was his turn. He drew a card first thing his turn. He played during his first main phase a land, which was a swamp, and he tapped one of his resources to play another one of these vampires for 1. So, and then he passed his turn. So now it's our turn. We get to play a land. And now I can play any of these cards. So this card we haven't run into yet. So this is an enchantment aura. So this is an enchantment. And it costs 1 colorless and 1 plains. You can enchant a creature. And then enchanted creature basically just means attach it to a creature. Whatever creature this card is attached to can't attack or block. So it's kind of like removal. It's disabling the creature that you attach it to. So you obviously would never do that to your own creature. You would want to do it to your opponent's creature. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to see if we can make our boy, our Youthful Knight, a little bit bigger. So what we're going to do is we're going to play Knight's Pledge and attach it to our Youthful Knight. That's going to give our knight a +2 attack and +2 defense. So we're going to resolve it, and now it's attached. So here you saw the change. Now it hits 4 attack and 3 defense. We're going to skip to our combat phase, and then we're going to attack. They did not block. So now we don't have anything else to do. We can't play anything else. We're going to end our turn. All right. So right there, they're going to deal 2 damage to a creature and gain 2 life. So they're going to deal 2 damage to their own creature. And now they're going to gain 2 life. And they're going to draw their card. They're going to play a land, which is a swamp. All right, they're gonna go. We're gonna go into combat phase. They decided to attack. We could not block because our creature was resting from the attack from the last turn, so they could not block. So we took 1 damage, and then they gained 1 life because of the life. And then now it's my turn. So now we get to draw a card. Go into our main phase. We're gonna play a land, and now we can play a couple things. So the pacifism, I'm gonna wait to use that. So what I'm gonna do is, instead of playing anything right now, they have 1 land available, so they can do something in reaction to something that I do. So we're gonna hold off. We're gonna go into the combat phase. We're gonna select this creature to attack the opponent directly. And there's no creatures on the field right now, so they can't block us. So they're gonna take 4 damage to the face. So now they're at 15 and we're at 9. So now what we're going to do is we're going to play a creature. This costs 2 planes to play. So right there you saw automatically the game will auto tap 2 planes and use those resources. And then we're going to pass the turn. So they drew a card. They tapped 3 lands and they played a Bloodthirsty Aerialist. So this card costs 1 colorless. They can tap any land to play that, to meet that requirement, and then 2 black or 2 swamp. Now this creature is a 2 attack or power and then 3 defense, and it has flying, which we saw in the last game. Flying, you can't block this creature unless it's blocked by another creature with flying or reach. And then the ability on this card furthermore is whenever you gain life, my opponent, so whenever my opponent gains life, you put a +1/+1 counter on Bloodthirsty Aerialist, which is really good because this creature over here has lifelink. So anytime this thing attacks and deals damage to me, and my opponent's gaining a life, whenever you gain a life, this creature is getting a +1/+1 counter. So this thing is kind of a problem and can get pretty big pretty fast, and we gotta basically worry about it. So it's our turn. They can't attack. They decided not to attack. So we're going to play a land. We drew a card. We're going to go into the combat phase. And we're going to attack with just this guy. We're going to leave this guy alone. Because if I attack with this, he could potentially block him with the new creature. Because they can block once they come out of the field, into the field newly. Like while they're in summoning sickness, they're still able to block, even though they couldn't attack. They can still block. So if I attack with this guy, this thing will kill it because this has 2 power and 2 defense, and this has 2 power and 3 defense. So this would do 2 damage to my creature, which it would die, and then this would do 2 damage to this creature, which this has 3 defense. So this would survive. So I definitely don't want to use this guy. So we're only going to attack with this guy and attack. And they did not block. So their creatures are still untapped. They haven't been used yet. And my creature over here is still available to be able to block now too. This creature can no longer block because, like I said, once they attack, they're tapped and they're resting, so they can no longer attack. So now what we're going to do is, this thing is a threat. And I don't like it. So what we're going to do is we're going to play this card called Pacifism, which, like I said, you can enchant a creature, and enchanted creature can't attack or block. So we're going to play this card onto the Bloodthirsty Aerialist. So now this creature can no longer attack or block us. Now what I could have done was I could have done this before the attack phase, and then basically attack with this creature too. But like I said, this has death touch. So if this does any damage to this at all, this would die. So I don't want to do that. I kind of want to keep it alive still. So we're going to end our turn. Our opponent's going to draw a card, play a land. They're going to play another Bloodthirsty Aerialist, and they're going to pass turn. So we're going to play a land. We drew a card. We drew the Youthful Knight. We're going to play our land, right? And what we're going to do is we're going to play another Pacifism on their new Bloodthirsty Aerialist, right? So now we're going to go into attack phase, and we're going to attack with this creature, but we're not going to attack with him because I don't want this to kill it. So we're going to keep one creature behind. They decided not to block. They have 7 life now. We have 19. Now I do have another creature I can play, so we're going to go ahead and play it. And now that ends my turn because I no longer have anything else to do. They drew a card. They didn't do anything except for play a land. So now it's my turn again. We drew this card. It's another enchantment. It costs 3 colorless and 2 planes to play. Enchanted creature gets +3/+3 and has flying. So now we can attach this card to any one of our creatures to attack. So what we're looking at is they have 7 life left. So there's a couple options we can do here. We can attach it to the Youthful Knight, this Youthful Knight. This would then become a 7/6. I'm doing 7 damage, and that actually would be lethal. That could kill the opponent. Now, other options are I can attach it to one of these two. So say that I attached it to the Youthful Knight here. This would make it a 5/4 with flying. So this could no longer be blocked by this card. So now I can attack with the 4 and then this 5, and that would also be lethal. But the thing is, this could potentially block this because it's on the ground still. This gives another creature flying, which they can only be blocked by another creature with flying or with reach. This card does not have either of those. So I want to naturally put it on the Youthful Knight. This is going to make it a 7/6 with flying. It can no longer be attacked by this creature. So what we're going to do is we're going to attack with this. And I'm also going to attack with the Youthful Knight. Now, the reason why I'm attacking with the Youthful Knight and not the Shrine Keeper is this First Strike ability, which we actually spoke about before. And unfortunately, we didn't get the chance to see it in action, but I'm going to explain what would have happened. So I attack with Youthful Knight and it has First Strike. And as we talked about before, this vampire has Death Touch. So if I attacked with this creature and they blocked this creature with Death Touch, you would think, oh, they would both die because this does 2 damage to this thing and this only has 1 defense, so this would die. And then this would deal 1 damage to Youthful Knight because first of all, it only has 1 defense, but also it has Death Touch, and at any time that a Death Touch creature does damage to another creature, it's dying regardless of the defense. That's naturally what you would think. But First Strike is like the sucker punch. So before this does any damage to my creature, this does 2 damage to the blocking creature first. Sucker punch. Before anything else gets resolved or attacked or anything, my creature is doing a First Strike. It's like a sucker punch to the opposing creature if they decide to block, and nothing happens. Nothing would, like, my creature wouldn't die. So we're gonna go ahead and see if that happens. So we're gonna attack with these two. They didn't block it, so they took the 9 damage. They had 7 life, and we won the game. So it's basically how that would have went down, and we won. That's our next game. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hopefully you guys learned some information about this video, and you learned a little bit about the mechanic of First Strike and Death Touch. Thank you guys for watching. I'll catch y'all later. Peace out. Hey, what's going on YouTube? Thank you so much for checking out the video today. If you like the content, what you saw today, check me out at Raven_89 on Twitch. I stream Monday through Saturday. I do morning sessions and night sessions and play a variety of different types of games, such as Magic the Gathering Arena, Overwatch, Call of Duty, Warzone, Dead by Daylight, and much, much more. Definitely check me out, and also check out my Twitter. You can know when I go live, and also anytime I post anything funny or crazy, you can always check that information out too. Thank you guys for the support. Much Raven love. I'll catch y'all later. Peace out.